All right, hey guys, Blood Moon Bobby here, and here's a smartphone company. Well, not just smartphone, but cell phone company in general. A company I should have probably talked about from the beginning, and that is Nokia. Interestingly enough, Nokia was one of the first. I think it was they were actually the first cell phone company a lot of people knew about. Like they were famous for their virtually indestructible Nokia 3310. The first two cell phones my mom ever owned were actually Nokias, and that was in the early days of TracFone. And there goes my phone, speaking of which. But when the smartphone race started, Nokia started to basically not make a lot of waves, to put it lightly. They tried competing in the Windows Phone race. It didn't really work out too well. Microsoft bought them. Didn't announce. I mean, didn't amount to much. They tried doing a smartphone where it was like a very Frankenstein version of Android, and judging by where Nokia is now, where it didn't really do anything for them. Microsoft obviously um, gave up on Windows Phone 10. They're no longer going to make updates for it. And the interesting thing is, if you go to a Microsoft store, like, I've been to the one near my house, you go there and they have like Windows phones all the way in the back. But the phones that they have on display in the front next to their laptops are like the Samsung Galaxy S8. So, and now this company HMD Global has bought the Nokia name. I'm told they're actually made up of former Nokia executives, and now they kind of have this reputation of they make smartphones, but they're more famous for phones that tickle on people's nostalgia. Like last year, they announced a comeback of the Nokia 3310, and that got a lot of attention. And this year, Nokia is bringing back their banana phone that was made famous in the Matrix movie, and that is the Nokia 8110, which, judging from the looks here, it looks just like a banana phone. Now, obviously speaking, this isn't, like going to compete with guys like, people in um the Android and iOS world. This is definitely the prime example of a feature phone, albeit with 2017 or 2018 now advantages. The phone will have an app store that includes apps from Facebook and Google. It's going to have Google Assistant, Google Maps, Facebook, and the game Snake, which the Nokia phones are famous for. It is capable of connecting to 4G, GPS, and Wi-Fi, and unlike a certain smartphone I really like, it has a headphone jack, and it does have an FM radio if you're into that kind of a thing. So it's definitely, I don't know if it's the kind of phone, especially in the United States, that people would want to buy per se. I think Nokia, at least in America, benefits more on the PR side. Like, oh, I remember that phone. Like, oh my god, Nokia's coming out with a modern version of the 3310, or in this case, the 8110. So, I don't know. This phone wouldn't benefit me all that much. Like, I need a smartphone for, things like not just watching movies, but, working at my job and live tweeting and going on and starting Facebook live streams. So while this phone wouldn't really do much for myself, it is definitely really cool that, Nokia is playing on nostalgia and coming out with modern versions of their phones. And so the 8110, by the way, I should mention, if you're wondering why it's in that banana shape, it's because the bottom part, or the phone itself, I should say, cups your ear in a way where that bottom part, it has the microphone. Your lip will actually reach that a microphone. It will get closer than it would on a more modern smartphone. So that's kind of the idea. So the 8110, I almost called it the banana phone, will come in yellow, or if you don't want it to be considered a banana phone, you can get it in black. and it will come out in May for 79 euros, so around $97. Not really sure about US availability, but you could probably buy it online if you really wanted to get it. And at a cheap price, I'm sure it's kind of a fun purchase. Maybe it won't be your daily driver, but it's kind of neat that Nokia is doing this. For more modern eyes, the phone you're going to be wanting to look at is Nokia's new flagship, which is the Nokia 80 Coco. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And this phone runs Android 8 Oreo, and it has a 5.5-inch POLED display, which it's not flexible like the LG G Flex, but similar technology. It has glass on the front and the back. Shit. And this is to allow wireless charging, which I'm honestly not here or there for wireless charging. I know there's people out there that like to use docks, and I could understand wireless charging being a convenience. But the weird thing is that, like, most people I know, like, as a guy who goes to a college with a lot of people that are obsessed with, like, their iPhones, everyone just plugs their phones into the wall. So if you're into that kind of thing, I totally get it. It's just, it's just not for me. And the Nokia 8 will have 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So would be nice if it got to 8 gigabytes, especially for the price. But 6 gigabytes is still a decent amount. And for those who would prefer to plug their smartphones into a wall, the Nokia 8 will have fast charging, and the Nokia 8 is IP67, not IP68 water resistant. So it's not going to be as resistant to water as a lot of other smartphones. But if you accidentally get it splashed or it falls into the sink, you should be fine. Just don't go swimming with it at the beach. It's probably not going to survive that. And the Nokia 8, it's not going to have the Snapdragon 845. Instead, it will have the Snapdragon 835, which is the previous generation, which, especially for the price, I'm not really sure about that. Obviously, a year later, it should work, although I would be kind of concerned about getting Android updates in the future. So, Nokia 8, unlike a lot of manufacturers, or actually, wait, sorry about that. Actually, like a lot of manufacturers, I should say, there is a dual camera setup, although with the Nokia 80 Coco, it has a one wide-angle lens with an f1.75 aperture, which is a bit brighter than lens than a couple of the other smartphones I've talked about at Mobile World Congress, and the other is a telephoto lens with a more narrow f2.6 aperture, which is understandable for a telephoto lens, but it should still take in a lot of light. Unfortunately, like certain phones from Apple and HTC, the Nokia 80 Coco will not have a headphone jack. A moment of silence, because me and plenty of other people still need a headphone jack. So you're going to have to get a USB-C adapter or use Bluetooth headphones. The Nokia 80 Coco is going to cost 750 euros, which is around $922, which, even though this is a pretty neat sounding phone, I wish, especially for that price, 750 euros, that's stepping into Samsung Galaxy 9 territory. I would have liked a more recent processor. There is no word of a US release, so we're going to have to wait around, or you could buy the phone online when it becomes available. And so, overall, Nokia's got a pretty good mix of phones at Mobile World Congress. Again, just like last year, they are playing on nostalgia with the 8110, the banana phone, and they've got a pretty cool sounding smart modern smartphone with the Nokia 80 Coco. If it had a more modern processor like the Snapdragon 845 we're seeing in a lot of phones announced at Mobile World Congress, I would say it could have been a competitor to something like the Samsung Galaxy S9 or the Sony Sony XZ2. But as is, it should be a pretty good smartphone. If you're a Nokia fan, I would say it would be a pretty good choice to check it out. And so, all right, guys, and this pretty much concludes my Mobile World Congress coverage. I thank you guys for following. I would really love to actually be in Barcelona, but obviously I've got school and I don't really have the necessary funds to travel. So hopefully one of these days I will be able to go out there and try those phones myself. I, as well as many of you guys watching, we will just have to wait until these phones make it to the US. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to hear more about not just my smartphone discussion videos. I also cover lots of other tech, including cameras and computers. And if you have suggestions for stories, my email is in the description below. And so thanks for following my coverage, and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.